even though it's recording goofy, it'll help be a cue for when he edits it. And it'll get us amped.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is... what is this, guys?
This is an intro.
Oh, okay, all right.
This is your minute by minute. What you got the spiel down?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. This is your host, Aaron, along with my co-hosts.
I'm Ryan.
Hi, and I'm Caleb.
And, what are we doing here, guys? What is this thing?
I mean, that's a pretty succinct explanation, but basically just watching the movie and really dissecting and drilling down on the minutia of everything about it.
Right. Every episode covers a minute from soup to nuts, as they call it.
So, okay, fair enough. So, from the DEC logo...
Yes.
The very first image you see on the screen to
Yes,
the very
that's
last
right.
credit.
That's right.
We're going to cover every minute. Every minute of the movie is going to be one episode of this
That's
podcast. Does that feel convoluted?
I think they got it.
Okay. All right. And we're talking about, just for complete clarity, the 1986 animated classic, the true Transformers movie.
None of that Michael Bay stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people love it. But
Sure.
I don't.
But nobody in this room.
And we just
No
lost
offense to those
Sure.
people,
No,
of course.
that's just not my Transformers.
Perhaps so you don't want to, when we're done with this, I mean, this has about a 90-minute or 90 episode shelf
arc.
life.
Yeah.
Do we want to cover that later? No?
I probably don't wanna, cause that's another thing of if I were to have to watch those movies, I've only seen the first one actually. I think that I mean,
I would think by the time we get far enough into this, and we have, received multiple requests,
demands,
and people offering to pay, I'll
right.
do anything for money. I mean,
Oh yeah, we're total shills.
yeah. So if someone wants to pay,
So if we're selling T-shirts,
And
if we're getting
keychains,
sponsorships,
yeah.
tchotchkes, we're only going to sell cheap tchotchkes if we manage to
made in
monetize
China.
this.
None of that America bullshit. That's too expensive.
So who knows?
It's a real
As
numbers.
are our toys. Our Transformer
Yeah.
toys are made in China, so
Are
why
they?
not? Yeah, absolutely. That's where all the biz is.
Oh.
So who are we? Why does it matter? I guess for the listener, the alleged listener. So we are three friends, lifelong friends. Go back to, I mean, you guys may have known each other earlier,
think it
but I
was
moved
first
to
grade,
our
or was it-
school second grade.
Yeah, me and Ryan are first grade. You came along in second grade.
Whoa.
And the rest is history.
And we are still friends
Yeah.
through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
Do we want to
Beings believing.
Do we want to have a podcast where we go year by year about
Yes,
friendships?
that's the next thing.
That
Okay.
would be- yeah.
So we've known each other a long time, loved the franchise for a long time.
Yeah.
So ever since it first came out. So
Yeah, and I would say that Aaron, you're probably the most knowledgeable about all the specifics and have the most information. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, and then Caleb is just a very casual fan. I would say, is that accurate?
You keep calling me the man on the street,
That's right.
like I'm
Some goof who's just wandered in.
yeah, like some homeless person just wandered in wanting a sandwich.
Joe Sixpack.
Y'all talking about Transformers?
Yeah.
Give me a bologna and cheese and I'll sit in with you.
Our first character makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Homeless Caleb.
Good God. All right, so, but I mean, yeah, I watched the cartoons back in the 80s. I own Transformers G1s, so I'm all about it. But I will digress that these other two guys probably have, well, not probably, they certainly have more knowledge than I do.
So Aaron, I am a collector of the masterpiece and third-party toys today. I've amassed a reasonable collection, and still
An
working on that.
collection.
They cost a little money. So I do collect the figures. I do lurk on the sort of message boards, and I follow a lot of different content makers when it comes to toy reviewers and things like that. And so that's about as in it as I am as far as a lurker. I haven't been much of a contributor, I guess, until this. But as a kid, yeah, loved the cartoon, loved the Marvel comic books. I'm now trying to get into the modern incarnations of the G1 comics by IDW.
They're
But
pretty great. I'm pretty casually interested in them, but every time I come across them, most of what I love about it is the artwork. It's pretty amazing.
They are great. They are great, and supposedly the storylines are really good. And I'll know as soon as I jump into it. But and then Jet, you're the porridge that Goldilocks ate.
That's right. I'm just right. Stick your finger in me.
And our first crass comment.
That's right. This is X-rated. I was huge into it as a kid, and like Aaron, you and I used to draw Transformers and trade the drawings back and forth. I really wish I had any of those.
That's how our friendship started.
I'll say that these guys are very talented illustrators, and they have been for a long time. And
I'll say that we are too.
I would say that probably the Transformers were appealing to you guys on one level because they were fun to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the things that honed my draw. Okay, here's a little anecdote. I remember when we first started trading drawings, like both yours and I's, it's very crude. We were just starting to hone our artistic skill. And then, like 4 pictures in, you hit me with one that's like awesome and so clearly traced. From a coloring book, I think, that you had.
I'm sure that happened.
Because it was Prime's back. Like, he was standing and, pointing.
Right.
And from the rear, I'm like, wait.
And this guy's got his angles down. He's foreshortening. He's in second grade, and he's doing some Picasso shit.
The leap in quality was a dead giveaway.
So, did any of you guys see the movie in the theater?
No. I think... You actually reminded me of this. That's another thing is I have no memories from childhood. Everything happened when I was 10. I don't know what's going on with that. But Aaron, you actually told me that the first time I think both of us saw the movie was at my house. As my mother worked at Diamond Video, and we rented the movie there.
That's right. Yeah, that was the first time I saw it as well. I think I lied to you. I think as a kid, I lied to you and told you I saw it in the theater.
There's a lot of
fraud
in our friendship.
I thought that would give me some cool points, but yeah, first time I remember watching it at your house. I'd already seen, and maybe you had as well. I'd already seen season 3,
yes.
And I was confused by the content of it, having not seen the movie. Who is this guy that's the new leader? Why is everything weird and sort of alienish? And it's almost like H.R. Geiger sort of stepped in and started doing some animation supervision.
Yeah, it takes place in space. They meet all these weird alien races. I must have known already going into this movie that Prime, spoilers, was dead.
I think I knew that. It felt like from the commercials.
Addresses it all the time.
Well, and I saw the commercials for the movie. Of course, I wanted to see it. I have no idea why I didn't see it in theaters.
Me neither.
But yeah, I don't know. When I did see it, I remember completely recognizing that the animation was a million times better than the show, and honestly, all the characters were amazing, and not being horrified by the deaths. Caleb, what is your relate? Do you remember the first time you saw this?
I don't remember the first time I saw it. It's possible I saw it on television.
Okay.
But you've seen the movie.
Oh, well, yeah.
Or only the minutes of it that we've reviewed up to this point.
Yeah.
Discovering it as we go.
That would be bizarre. It'd be interesting to watch this movie minute by minute and never.
Okay, we have to start over and get a fourth guy in here who's never seen it.
Then I won't feel so. I won't be the man. I won't be low on the totem pole anymore.
Won't be the whipping boy.
But we end up liking that guy a lot better than you. He's really cool, and just love having him around.
No, he's probably
he
could be a total idiot, and you would still just treat him better than you do.
Then it's 3-on-1.
I don't remember the first time I watched it. I'm pretty sure that I rented it at some point. We probably watched it on a local UHF station. back in
It
the
must
day.
have. I assume it was probably like on like afternoon movies a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but I do know that it was really the whole movie made an impression on me younger because I'd never experienced those characters like dying. They've been I'd watched the cartoon on TV and they were always fighting and getting hurt, but actually to buy a toy and have that toy, play with them, kind of admire them, and and then have that character killed off was really strange.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would, I don't know if it ever been done before, but
I feel like it was one of the early ones to do that.
yeah. So
if there were any others.
yeah, and so it was hard to wrap my brain around the deaths that were going on in it. But I think that it was a brilliant idea by the people that were
Selling the toys.
selling the toys.
That's right.
Because I guess they needed to clear out make some space for some new characters.
I've heard that rationalization a million times, and even everybody will say that. The writers will say that they were ordered to get rid of but there's a million toy lines that don't kill off characters just to make room for. They just introduce new toys.
We can only have 20 Transformers
At any time,
Nope.
on
Yeah.
a rotating
No more
basis.
and no less. We all know this.
some kind of union rule.
Yeah, and that was
You're right. That makes no sense what I said. But it
No, I mean that's the standard issue.
that's the law
rationale for why they did it.
certainly got people's attention.
Yes.
And
Well,
And-
I'm sorry. You were saying, Aaron, that G.I. Joe was being made near this time, and they purposefully did not go the Transformers route with killing off their characters because Duke was supposed to die.
he got stabbed
Right.
by a poison
hard
snake.
snake.
yeah, from
Which that
Serpentor.
was, he could grab those slithery snakes, Serpentor,
and
and
jerk
make
them
them
off.
and jerk them off into a stiff spear. But yeah, so it was
that
in
where you
production.
draw the line?
It was in production, and I believe they intended to kill Duke. And I think that, as I understand it, the furor from the audience of Optimus Prime, they saw that and said, "I guess we won't do
Put him in
that."
a
Hey,
coma.
heads
instead.
up, dum-dums. Maybe kids don't like to see their heroes tragically murdered on screen.
I will say this though. I will say that
Dum-dums.
I know. I'm gonna have to.
No, I like it.
I will say this though. Imagine the difference though between watching robots get tore
True.
up, died, and if you could imagine characters on the G.I. Joe movie getting killed off, it would be
It's a little more gruesome.
It would,
like-
yeah, it'd be there was Duke had blood.
Yeah.
I do.
But
Well-
can you imagine like them showing like dead G.I. Joe characters,
Like their
in the cartoon?
intestines laying on the
Yeah,
floor,
shot and stuff.
like Ironhide and Ratchet.
You can imagine that
It's a little worse, yeah.
It's a lot worse.
And
I mean,
that is true. Like in the G.I. Joe show, that's specifically, and they did this in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you could destroy shit. They just make generic robots bad guys. Like in G.I. Joe, they had those, I don't know what they were called, but they were those robot troopers.
Yep. I forgot about that. That makes sense now. They were like, well, we keep, can't really shoot the
I
bad
can't remember if
guys.
it's Scarlet or who it is in the intro of G.I. Joe that like just is shooting a whole line of
Yeah.
spinning in a circle.
So, okay, along with other properties, we love the property of Transformers. We love the movie, and that's why we're doing this. That's why we're going to break it down minute by minute. It's going to be a lot of trivia. We're going to break down the scenes, talk about what happens.
The actors,
the
people who
characters, sure. Like so, and just to give you a little peek under the curtain, we've actually already recorded 8 episodes.
Well, we wanted to make sure
magic.
we wanted to make sure we knew if this was going to work.
Sure,
or not.
yeah. And
It's
there's
working.
plenty of content. We're each episode roughly, 20 to 30 minutes. Although we've got the credit sequence is an hour, people. So
That's
strap
right.
in. We probably shouldn't make this intro too long.
Yeah, hunker down.
but there's a lot of love for the movie, and a lot of trivia, content, history to get into. So if you're a fan of the animated Transformers the movie, I think you'll love this podcast, and there's going to be lots of opportunity through our website, autopoddecepticast.com. We've got every social media available at what is it again? At Apod Decast. So whether you're talking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apod Decast is your portal to this world.
That's APOD.
DCE. Whoa. I already screwed it up.
Let me start it again.
Oh, God.
All right. So that's APOD DCAST.
Yep. Which, as you look at it on paper, it just looks like a
podcast.
podcast. A podcast. You got a little stutter.
Apodcast.
But Apod Decast, that's how you could refer to us. I kind of like that nickname. It kind of rolls off the tongue. It's the Apod
And
Decast.
like Aaron said, we did bank a lot of episodes, so we're going, the feedback, we definitely want feedback. It won't show up until episode 9, unless we do some special stuff at the end. But
we can tack on.
I will say I love feedback. Just maybe, we're going to make mistakes, definitely, because we don't hold all the information in our head.
We don't really know what we're doing at all.
No, not at all. But I will say, I don't mind corrections. Just be gentle, because I am very fragile and one mean comment away from just throwing a noose over a rafter and scratching out Jet was here.
You mean like Shawshank style?
That's exactly what I mean.
Burnsy?
Burnsing it?
Brooks. His name was Brooks.
Well,
But
it's going to be awkward the next recording session that we have after Ryan kills himself.
Oh, it'll be the highest rated one. But then you'll have to get that homeless guy off the street to fill my shoes.
It shouldn't be too
it's
hard.
going to be hard.
Okay, great. I'm glad to know I'm replaceable.
So that is, you saying that is now chum for the water, because the Transformers fandom is
It's deep.
Notoriously mean to
Oh,
each
really?
other. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of love.
I think it's probably like that with any...
Now we're just encouraging people.
I just mean they know their shit, and if
Yep.
we don't know our shit, they're definitely going to call us on it.
Right.
So if you'd love to, I won't say it corrections. Let's call it input, feedback, and
Enhancements.
contribution. We would love your contribution, especially if we, we're
have-
really trying to go deep here,
Yep.
but certainly there's opportunity to miss stuff. So
Yeah, and the minutia of it, like stuff any subject that we cover, and if you know something like really interesting about it and we didn't cover it, just let us know.
And if we think it's interesting enough, we'll maybe include
Give
and
you a
credit
shout-out.
your content. But if it's
Let's
shitty, we're
No!
not going to.
Let's not
So,
promise anything. We'll just see what happens.
no promises, but do think of this as it's not just our podcast; it's your,
It's your
podcast,
as
everybody.
well.
We want-
But you're not.
you
on
love
it.
the movie, we love the movie. All right, so I guess with that, I think
We good here?
I think we're good here on an intro. Once again, I'll just remind you, the website is www. I don't have to say
I don't
that.
think we need that.
http://
I think it's // is it? I don't
www.autopoddecepticast.com. All of our social media is Apod Decast.
Yep, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out.
And listen, and why don't you go watch the movie?
Yeah.
And then
Watch it a minute at a time,
Watch it a
right
minute at a time
before
like
we
us.
do the episode.
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you guys.
See ya.